What I'm going to do for you today is just give you a general introduction to the concept behind Verify 3D. I'm going to talk about what the purpose of the program is, and the main focus today is going to talk about the relationship it has with Forge APIs. So I'm going to start off with the aforementioned introduction. It's not going to take too long. I'm going to give a very quick demo. I'm going to talk about the user workflow. And then I'm going to look at the future, the roadmap, and what we're developing in the upcoming months. We're a diverse bunch, and that we think is a strength. We have about 8 different nationalities, 13 people. We're expanding as well at the moment, even in the difficult times. 7 different countries. We have an expanding number of clients in the United States, Japan at the moment, the UK, hopefully in Ireland. I'm Irish. I'd like to have an extra pilot user group there. And what do? We do model checking in the cloud, hence the title of the presentation. What we're looking at is the classification of construction elements in a 3D environment in the cloud. So at the moment, there's a great desire on behalf of contractors, particularly to be able to check information on site. And the whole idea and the whole proposition behind Verify 3D is to look at advanced clash detection, to be able to customize how those clashes are done, and then report on the issues in real time. Hence, classify, validate, report. I said we're going to look at the API relationships. What we're using at the moment is the BIM 360 single sign-on. It's very attractive, especially given what's happening in the world with COVID. There's huge amounts of demand on behalf of the user groups. Again, we're in a pilot beta testing period where we're getting information back in real time from specific user groups. If we look at the data management API, this is also incredibly important for most of our users, particularly in the States with the prevalence of Autodesk products, but also in the Nordics, in Scandinavia, and in the Netherlands. We're doing a lot of work, which I'll mention at the end, regarding project management, how the information is being taken out of the Verify 3D environment, and how it's being filtered into the workflows of the construction companies we're working with. The design automation has been challenging, and we continue to work on that. Regarding the relationship with API Forge, we're reading information which is coming specifically from Revit files, and then we're changing that into our own Verify 3D format, and we're reinterpreting it in the Verify 3D environment. The model generative API, we're not that busy with that at the moment. I had a chat with the developers before the presentation. There isn't a huge amount going on there, but with BIM 360 sign-on, the data management API, and the design automation, that's where we are doing a lot of work at the moment. I'm going to change my screen now. I'm going to move to the actual project interface. I'm going to have to reshare my screen. 1 second.
We're watching it.
You're still watching the PowerPoint presentation, and I'm trying to.
No, actually, no. We got you.
You are still
navigate.
No, that's perfect. Well, then that makes my life a lot easier.
That's right, exactly. I just wanted to remove a couple beads of sweat from your forehead there.
No, it's okay. So basically, I've uploaded a file from one of our user groups in the States, actually, and I just want to talk to you about the process. So my background is as an architect, and in the European market at the moment, there's a big focus on IFC. There's still more of a focus in the States on Revit files. But with the IFC files in Europe, for example, the whole reason for using them is for collaboration. And therefore, the relationship between Verify 3D and collaborative platforms like BIM 360 are very important. That's why we set up this relationship with the APIs. We've done a lot of work in the last, particularly the last couple of months, relating to, what user groups want with their relationship with BIM 360, and also to ensure that there's a fairly seamless integration between the files people need to use, and this is the file I'm using for today, and the pace of the program. we're still working on that side of things, but bear in mind that this is an SaaS program in the sense that it's based on browsers, and that presents its own challenges, and we're dealing with those. But how things are going, particularly with the integration with BIM 360, is quite positive at the moment. We also, as I said, for other users of Revit, we have the possibility that you can download a plugin which is in your add-ins in the Revit browser when you're using Revit. And there's the potential for anybody who's uploaded an existing file, all of that information is available to them in the user environment. Again, we support IFC and Revit. They're the main focus of our development at the moment. If we look at a file, there is the option not only to load a model, but you can link models, and then you can also load filters and checks and create filters. One of the things I said at the beginning of our conversation was to do with classify, validate, report. The whole purpose of Verify 3D is to give a very simple interface to people who are trying to undertake pretty complex tasks. So once a file has been loaded, you then move to the left-hand side of the screen, and that's where we have this whole idea of classify, filtering, validate. You run rule checks, and then you report. I'll talk about the issues report. There's the format we have at the moment is a BCF. So I will run an example in a second where we look at reporting issues. But the whole idea, as I said again,
Hugh, the BCF for the home audience, would you mind just expounding maybe on what the BCF? I know what it is. I'm pretty familiar, but I'm not sure everybody does. So that'd be helpful.
It would be helpful, and it's a good question. BCF is a BIM collaboration format, and it just means for the purpose of this environment, the whole idea is to check information before a building is about to be built. So if you're looking at this particular file, the reason you're looking at it is to check that the information you have is correct, and therefore a BIM collaboration format is a way of downloading the information associated with a check. So hypothetically, if things went wrong, it's not as you want it to be, you need to download information and feed it to a third party, hence BIM collaboration format. I'm going to do an example. I just want to go through the process of showing you the filters and kind of breaking down how the program itself works. We are in the pilot phase of this project. So what you see here basically is the checks I have for different user groups. The two checks at the top are the ones I'm going to run. But what we set up is a filter manager environment. And basically the idea with the filter manager environment is to allow people to be able to, first of all, run a filter. So at a very primary level, if you want to isolate certain information, this information I'm showing you at the moment is specific to roof elements. So they're roof elements. So basically, you've managed to very quickly isolate information that you want to investigate further. You perhaps might need to talk to somebody about detailing. The whole idea with filtering the information is to be able to coherently add the necessary information to filter out a specific element within the 3D model. As I say, we've been very busy with this over the last couple of months, and it's been a lot to do with feedback from our user group regarding how they want to be able to engage with the information we're showing here. If you click on certain elements, and this was part of the most recent release, you can automatically update information from the element you've selected into the filter. So, you know, hypothetically, if you click on the node here and you want to add in more information, it allows you to fill the filter editor with more refined forms of information and allows you to run filters that are, you know, increasingly complex in accordance with what you want to see at a given point in time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out of that. Just 1 second. Just waiting for, we have yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue with the freezing of my screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flick to another browser just to look at that one. Yeah, again, with it being a web browser application, it can be dependent on web connections at a given point in time. It's Friday evening here in The Hague, so
It's Friday
is
evening,
quite busy.
and we're all on broadcasting through your same web connection, so it doesn't help, I'm sure.
But just to give you another idea regarding what I was speaking about, was that the filter I was looking at, I ran a roof filter. I'm going to run a mullion filter. Basically, what I'm trying to just going to reset that view for you. What I'm trying to show you guys is the workflow and how that relates to the APIs associated with Forge. I'm scrolling out in real time, and I'm going to zoom in on the front of the building. What I want to do is I'm going to highlight a mullion and give you a hypothetical situation if you want to send an issue report. So the filters basically are designed to allow you to isolate information. So if you look at the mullions, I'm going to first of all bring up the filter to check that the filter is as I want it to be. I know I've set this up before, so I know that the filter has a certain series of properties associated with it. I'm okay with that, and I'm going to run the filter itself. Whilst the filter is being run, I am going to just, yeah. So we have, for example, we have 4 elements associated with the mullion filter that's allowed us to isolate those elements. If we wanted to refine that further, as I said, you can add extra information here below. But the idea of very quickly and very simply, and that is also a big part of this, being able to isolate elements is to augment workflows. At the moment, with some of the other options on the market, it's quite a complex process. You have to have a background in the AEC industry to be able to, you know, familiarize yourself in the surroundings. You have to be able to have a certain degree of experience to be able to get to this point. We're trying to simplify that as much as possible without dumbing it down. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, we've highlighted these elements, and then if we reset the view, what I'm going to show you is how the issues can then be sent to a third party. If you want to take a screenshot, you take a screenshot. The screenshot will allow you to say what the filter is. It will also highlight the element. You can give a title to the issue. It's not necessary in this specific situation, but coming back to the question Steve asked at the beginning, you want this information to be accurate, timely, and quick. So you want to be able to assign it to somebody. I'll assign it to myself. We know what the data was produced. We can give it a priority. Let's give it a high priority. And then we can give it a description. And yeah, let's say that the profile of the mullions is not as it should be. We can quickly communicate that to a third party, and that's downloaded as a BCF. So it's just a matter of clicking that, and the BCF is downloaded. At this moment, I'm going to transition back to the PowerPoint. Steve, I'm going to ask you if you can still see my screen, because that's obviously important. I think it you should be able to see the PowerPoint presentation.
Absolutely.
Very good. The demo is going to move into the future. So where are we and where are we going? We are getting a lot of user feedback, and that's why an architect, that's what I'm trained as an architect, is speaking to you rather than a developer. We are really concentrating on the UX side of things, and we are trying to develop our testing and benchmarking so that it replicates the processes that we are getting back from our user groups. Again, a big emphasis of our work coming up in the next 2 months is with the Forge APIs, and that's to do with the project managers. What we don't have at the moment, and what we are going to have in September, is a clear project landing space where different user groups can orientate themselves with dashboards. That's been worked on at the moment, where people can share a project with users within their own group and load IFC and Revit files, the things that they want to do in accordance with the necessities of a construction project. And then again, we're continuing to refine the classification, filtering, loading of predefined filtering groups. A lot of the larger construction companies have existing filters or clashes, which they have in Navisworks at the moment, or other information in Excel, which they will want to feed in to automate in our program. We're working on that. Clashing is a more refined form of filtering. And then we'll be looking at reporting, and that leads me on to the last slide. So it leads me on to the penultimate or the ultimate slide. This is where we are at the moment. We, with the emphasis on classification, validation, and reporting, we are really looking at our users' requests regarding projects. We're trying to build up a user interface which is representative of the workflow they want to engage with. We also try and incorporate existing libraries for filter checks from our existing customers. And then on the reporting side of stuff, the report for the BCF I just showed you, we're already working on a relationship with BIM 360 issues, and that should be live in September. So that's that's an overview of who we are, what we've been busy doing, and where we aim to be in the next few months.